Every blown trading account followed the same 3-ingredient recipe, and the ingredient that completes it is the one that feels like it is helping. In 2013, that ingredient cost me 92% of my account in 3 months. But once I built a system without it, I traded profitably part-time for over 7 years. Because the recipe has 3 ingredients, and the one that completes it is most likely already in your trading. Traders who never blow up are not stronger. They are missing something, and that missing thing is what protects them. Fire needs 3 things to exist: fuel, heat, and oxygen. Remove any one of those 3 and the fire can't start, no matter how much of the other 2 that you have. That's how firefighters actually work. A carbon dioxide extinguisher removes the oxygen from the space around the fire, and the reaction stops because one ingredient is gone. The fire lost a requirement for its existence. And every blown trading account follows a 3-ingredient recipe, and it starts with excitement. That excitement creates false certainty because when you feel strongly about a trade, your brain treats the feeling as evidence. And certainty triggers action because once you are certain, hesitating feels wrong. You are sitting there telling yourself, this is the one, I can feel it. And once that thought lands, waiting feels like wasting time. Excitement, certainty, action. That's the failure recipe, and it completes in seconds. Your entry rules are your fire extinguisher. Every time you feel excitement and still take the trade, you are supplying oxygen to a reaction that was already waiting to ignite. The traders who never blow up have removed excitement from the kitchen entirely. Their trading process is so boring that the recipe never has its first ingredient, so that certainty never forms and action never triggers. One extra excited trade per month at 1% risk can bleed around 7% per year. That's a structural leak you will never spot until the damage is done. Exciting trades build stories of ruin, but boring trades build accounts that survive. So the recipe has 3 ingredients, and excitement completes it. But if this is true, what happens when you give a group of traders identical rules and remove the option to add their own excitement? In 1983, a trader named Richard Dennis ran exactly that experiment. He gave the same mechanical rules to a group of complete beginners and funded their accounts with real money. Dennis recruited 14 people with no trading experience and trained them for 2 weeks in a strict set of rules. The same entries, the same exits, and the same position sizing. Every turtle, as he called them, received the same system and the same capital. The results should have been identical, but they weren't. Some turtles followed the boring rules exactly. Curtis Faith, a 19-year-old with no finance background, became one of the most profitable traders in the group by doing nothing except executing the system. He added nothing to it. No judgment and no intuition. Just the mechanical rules applied without feeling. And you've probably felt the pull to add something to a trading system that's working. A small adjustment here, a gut call there. You tell yourself, I can see where this is going. The system's too slow for this. The turtles who underperformed were more excited. They added conviction and feel for what the market should do next. And every addition was subtraction from their results. The system needed their absence. Richard Dennis himself, the man who designed the system and proved it worked, deviated from his own rules during the 1987 crash. He admitted he made emotional trades. He lost 50% of his fund. Even the creator of the boring system couldn't resist the excitement ingredient once it entered the kitchen. Every time a turtle added excitement to a boring system, the failure recipe got closer to completing. The turtle experiment proved something nobody was testing for. Excitement subtracts from a trading system. The traders who felt the least about their trades produced the best results because feeling nothing meant the recipe was always missing its first ingredient. Your broker collects a spread on every extra trade your excitement generates, and they have no reason to tell you that boredom is cheaper. The recipe is the same for every blown account, but the ingredient shows up differently for every trader. It might look like certainty about a setup that hasn't fully formed, or the pull to check charts outside of your plan, or the conviction that this trade is different. Knowing the recipe and removing the ingredient are different problems, and that gap is what decides whether your account survives. You can probably already feel which version sounds like yours, but the one you recognize is not always the one that's actually operating, and misidentifying it means months solving the wrong problem. That's what the free 3-minute diagnostic quiz in the description below catches. Check it out and get your diagnosis today. Almost every trading mentor tells you to be boring, but nobody explains what boredom is actually doing for you structurally or why willpower has nothing to do with it. In August 2013, I started trading the 1-minute and 5-minute charts. The candles moved fast and the signals came constantly, and I felt like I was finally doing something. Every time a candle spiked, my brain said the same thing. I need to be in this trade. And right behind that thought came a quieter one. If I miss this, I'll regret it all day. That feeling was excitement dressed up as opportunity, and it felt like fuel. Within 3 months, I had lost 92% of my account. The recipe completed over and over. Excitement told me this move was real. That certainty told me to act now, and acting now cost me almost everything. When I eventually moved to the daily chart time frame and started checking markets once a day for about 30 minutes, the excitement disappeared, and control had nothing to do with it. There was nothing left to feed it. One chart, once a day, with clear rules. The recipe was missing its oxygen, so the fire could not start. Just check the 5-minute chart, just once. That thought visited almost every session for weeks, and every time it arrived, it was the recipe trying to restock the missing ingredient. Every refusal kept the trading kitchen empty. I traded part-time alongside my banking job for over 7 years without another blow-up. The account grew because the ingredient was not there. That's the boredom shield. Boredom is what a trading process looks like when excitement has been removed from its structure. When the first ingredient is gone, the recipe cannot complete. I removed excitement from the trading process entirely as a structural choice. But without a mechanical filter enforcing that boredom, the recipe still completes in seconds. Seeing the recipe and surviving it are different things. So watch this video next, where I break down the exact trading checklist that makes the failure recipe structurally impossible to complete. See you in that video.